Philosophy, the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. In a broad sense, philosophy is an activity people undertake when they seek to understand fundamental truths about themselves, the world in which they live, and their relationships to the world and to each other.
Join us today as we explore the lives and contributions of the great philosophers in our understanding of life and morality and how we see the world today.
Let's start off with David Hume, one of the known philosopher, a pioneering figure in modern philosophy known for his empiricist and skeptical approach. His theories on knowledge, causation, and human nature have shaped both historical and contemporary philosophical thought.
David Hume, renowned skeptic empiricist, a philosopher from Scotland, was born in 1711. He argued that our perception shape our reality and that the self is a bundle of perception without a core. Hume challenged cause and effect, stating that we only profess to faith and both due to our accustomed thinking. His lasting impact was to advocate for a pragmatic approach in philosophy, emphasizing the importance of observation to understand ourselves in the world. I thereby prepared the groundwork of the modern doubting of everything and the empirical approach to philosophy that is still in use today.
These facts capture both his intellectual achievements and personal quirks, making David Hume one of the most colorful and influential philosophers of the Enlightenment era.
Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher and Plato's disciple, made significant contributions to several subjects including logic, biology, ethics, and metaphysics. He advanced Aristotelian logic by emphasizing form of arguments using syllogisms to establish deductive validity. His empirical approach blended observation and logical analysis, resulting in notable research in natural philosophy and biology that classified species that investigated their activities. In metaphysics, he developed the concept of a prime mover, an unchanging cause of all creation. In ethics, he maintained that the ultimate purpose of life is eudaimonia, or pure happiness, attained by virtue and knowledge. Although only 31 of his 200 cities have been preserved, they are fundamental of Western philosophy.
A famous philosopher, Aristotle, was an ancient Greek philosopher and polymath, a student of Plato and teacher of Alexander the Great, whose works laid the foundation for Western philosophy and science, covering diverse fields such as metaphysics, ethics, politics, biology, and logic.
John Locke, a 17th century English philosopher and theologian, was born in 1632 and attended in Westminster School in London. He held administrative and academic posts at Christ Church, Oxford, where he focused on medicine and natural philosophy. After the Glorious Revolution, he returned to England and published the essay and the two treatises. Locke was influential in theology, religion, toleration, and educational theory. His work is particular the essay concerning human understanding, analyzed the human mind, and actualization of knowledge, advocating for the limit government, natural rights, and the religion of toleration. Locke believed that a person is an intelligent being with a reason, reflection, and ability to consider themselves in different times and place.
One fun fact, Locke's theories inspired parts of the U.S. Declaration of Independence, particularly the phrase, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He originally wrote about life, liberty, and property as fundamental rights.
Paul Churchland, a Canadian philosopher, is known for his controversial views on the mind and self, arguing that all human experiences are rooted in the brain itself. He is often labeled as eliminative materialism, where mental concepts like beliefs or desires are just patterns of neural activity. Born in 1942, Churchland studied philosophy and neuroscience, realizing that traditional theories like folk psychology were outdated and would eventually be replaced by neuroscience. His wife, Patricia Churchland, is also a philosopher who advocates for a philosophy grounded in neuroscience, believing that concepts like fear, hope, and pain will be explained entirely through biology. Though my ideas are debated, one thing is clear: the brain, not the mind, holds the key to understanding who we truly are.
Churchland suggests that as neuroscience progresses, our understanding of the mind will entirely replace these folk psychological concepts with a more scientifically accurate view. This radical idea challenges the traditional ways we think about our minds.
Today, I'd like to introduce you to one of the most influential philosophers in history, a man whose ideas continue to shape our understanding of the world, even thousands of years after his name. And I would like to introduce you to Plato, born around 47 BCE in ancient Athens. Teacher Aristotle, forming a foundational trio in Western philosophy. His works, largely in the form of dialogues, delve into the question that remains vital today: what is justice? What does it mean to live a good life? And how do we attain true knowledge?
Socrates. He is born in Athens and was known for his Western philosophical view. His father, a stonemaster, and his mother, a midwife. A little known fact about Socrates: he participated in the Peloponnesian War and was known for his fearlessness and attitude and not to die during the war. After the war, after the Greek defeated the Roman Empire, he tried to become a philosopher by spreading his philosophical views and the views of his Socratic method in Athens. He considered Athens as his classroom, and he considered the people as his trials and error. But after that, he became so famous to the fact that he never even wrote a philosophical novels about himself, but he has his friend Plato and Aristotle with him. Despite facing trial, he was found guilty and sentenced to death by poison and hemlock, and Socrates' method of questioning was an ethical focus and commitment to the principle laid to the groundwork for many social thoughts, including the Platonism, Aristotelianism, and his legacy endures the work of his students and rich tradition of the philosophical view of the modern times.
Plato and Socrates share a profound historical and philosophical connection. While Socrates did not leave any written works, Plato's extensive writings capture his teacher's ideas and continue to shape philosophical discourse to this day.
Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, throughout his career, he explored the hidden layers of mind, dreams, desires, and those unconscious forces that shape us. He redefined himself, showing that much of who we are stems from unresolved childhood conflicts and desires we aren't even aware of.
Father of psychoanalysis. Developed psychoanalysis, a method for treating psychological disorders by uncovering and analyzing unconscious thoughts and motivations.
Later, he became a bishop in Hippo, teaching about God. For Augustine, human gain knowledge not through sense experience alone, but through God revealing truth to the soul.
Early Christian theologian and philosopher whose writings greatly influenced Western Christianity and philosophy. Notable fact is that his Confessions is one of the first autobiographies in Western literature, where he reflects on his sinful youth.
Born in 1596 in central France, Descartes was the youngest of 3 children and studied the subjects such as rhetoric, logic, mathematics, metaphysics, natural philosophy, and ethics. He is considered the father of modern philosophy due to his departure from early 17th century understanding, which was more feeling-based.
Known as the father of modern philosophy, Descartes also made major contributions to mathematics, creating the Cartesian coordinate system, which laid the groundwork for analytic geometry.
Hi, I want to introduce you one of the most influential philosophers in the history, which is Maurice Merleau-Ponty. His work focused on embodied perception, emphasizing that our bodily experiences are crucial for understanding human existence. In Phenomenology of Perception, in 1945, he argued against the separation of mind and the body, highlighting our perception is rooted in physical experience. Merleau-Ponty also explored the role of language in shaping the reality, suggesting it articulates our embodied experiences. In the visible and invisible, he examined the complexities of existence, including visibility and invisibility. His thoughts on perception, art, and politics advocate for a more humane society, leaving a lasting impact on contemporary philosophy and the arts.
Gilbert Rye was born in 190, the son of a doctor with interest in philosophy and astronomy. He studied in Oxford and became a lecturer in philosophy in 1925. Gilbert Rye authored The Concept of Mind. He also followed ordinary language philosophy, arguing that the mind does not exist and therefore can't be the state of self. Rye believed that self comes from behavior. We're all just a battle and behavior caused by physical working of the body. Ryle does not believe that the mind and body, though some say can coexist, are two separate entities, which is said to be evident in unexplainable phenomenon or abilities of the mind where the soul is considered.
Merleau-Ponty viewed the mind and body as inseparable. The body is not just a physical object, but a lived body through which we engage with and understand the world. Thus, he rejected mind-body dualism, focusing instead on being in the world. Ryle, a key figure in ordinary language philosophy, Ryle's critiques of Cartesian dualism influenced debates in analytic philosophy and behavioral psychology, laying groundwork for later discussions in philosophy of mind and artificial intelligence.